Now, maybe some of you have had the same experience that I'm about to share with you because it just came to me. So I decided maybe there's some value and importance in sharing this with the rest of you. There is, because I'm very familiar with what it's like to operate in a black hole system, which is a failed mathematics. I call it universe killer mathematics. So you know that mathematics is sound and light, right? So you know that there are people here that operate at different levels. So you already know that there are things we've already learned, so we don't need to relearn what we've already learned before. So you realize if you're in a classroom, you got people that are operating on all different levels of consciousness, which are wave bands, which is known as bandwidth, which is a radio, right? Operating a radio star. So one of the things I realized as a job, because I'm not new to this, okay, is the different levels that people operate running an operating system. Yeah, in other words, the operator of the vehicle. The level of consciousness is represented by who they are, by what they've learned to become what they are at any given moment of now time, which is the completion of a circuit, the completion of a magnetic circuit. So if you want to build a planetary motherboard, you want to be running high-level capacitors. Yeah, so that's an acceleration of energy in order to be able to do that. Yeah, and so what happens here is that it's one thing to, for example, because when you have a data miner that is mining what it is that we experience by virtue of what we experience, and then that information is held in a storage bank. And then all of a sudden somebody comes back that you see on a camera or a laptop and is relaying the same information you've already learned. So you realize, yeah, I'm familiar with that information. I know how that information operates in mathematical codes to create a universe with. The original codex, the original mathematics, the first mathematics of creation, first creation, eternal absolute love that's on fire to create. I'm very familiar with that because that's what I'm operating on, those mathematics. That means you know the difference between one and the other, which means the mathematics. The mathematical codes that represent the sound and light that we experience in us. And that's how we know the torque speed difference between a fallen system, mathematical design, and a rising system of mathematical design, or a non-fallen system of mathematical design. Yeah, so it's one thing to talk about it and go, yeah, I'm familiar with that. It's another entirely different thing to live it. So I can know the mathematics and put all the schematics up and say, this is what I've learned by virtue of what I've learned through others. So now I'm putting this information up, right, through my consciousness to share this with others. That does not mean that that's how they live their life every day, running those mathematical codes. So you can see how that works with units of consciousness that are communicating with each other, the torque speed differential in mathematics, which is the mathematical codes that they're running through their temple. Yeah, so different temples are communicating with other temples based on the mathematical codes that we're running in those temples in a fallen system of mathematics. Universe killer mathematics because we're in a hole.